welcome to episode 21 of Top Shelf Nerds, brought to you by Nerds Amalgamated, a part of That's Not Canon Productions. Kicking off this week, we're having an apology from the professor, unfortunately tied up with some personal issues. Our thoughts and prayers are with him. And I'm joined once again, I don't know whether to say gratefully or whatever, by the DJ.
Woohoo! Yay, everybody! I'm back.
Yeah. Shout out this week at the top of the show. KoKo the gorilla has passed.
Oh,
For those who don't know, KoKo the gorilla was 46 years old, and she was the gorilla that knew sign language and had, I think it was 1,000 sign language words, and could understand, had a vocabulary equivalent to that of a human toddler, more than 1,000 words, and could understand over 2,000 spoken words, I think it was. But, yeah, sad to see her go.
yeah, sad to see a gorilla, like a very talented gorilla like that go.
Yeah. Her favourite book was The Three Little Kittens, for those who just want to know a little bit more about her. Her favourite movies were Eddie Murphy's version of Dr. Dolittle. Maybe she had a bit of a crush on him. And Free Willy.
Oh, nice. Two good movies.
Yep. And a couple of her favourite things were cuddles and tickles, kind of like the DJ.
That's not good. It's not good.
Unfortunately, sad loss to the world. Yeah.
Although, interestingly, her name before KoKo, her real name was actually Hanabi Ko.
And how do you know what her real name was?
I'm just looking at the article here.
That's what they named. Someone else named her. That's not necessarily her real name. You don't know what her real name is unless you speak gorilla.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, it's sad to see. One talented as KoKo go, and it's crazy to see like gorillas like that do incredible stuff. I think a couple of years back I saw a picture of a gorilla. I think he was holding a stick and he was acting like as if he was walking with it, like a walking stick.
That was probably a chimpanzee, not a gorilla.
That was a what?
It was probably a chimpanzee, not a gorilla.
Oh, could be. Let me just find out.
A male silverback gorilla, or even a smaller male gorilla, is a pretty big beastie. But
there we are.
KoKo the gorilla has appeared in a number of movies and TV shows. Just trying to find the list here of the different people that she's with. I remember seeing it somewhere previously.
William Shatner, Sting.
William Shatner, Sting, Robin Williams, just to name a few. Unfortunately, she's gone. So her first birthday present in 1984, when they actually finally decided to give her one, was a kitten, and it was tailless and grey and white, called All Ball. So may not have been her first birthday present, but yeah, she had a series of kittens as pets. So she's more gentle than most people you'll ever come across. So yeah, sad news. But
I guess so. Yeah.
Moving along to some good news, though, is the professor's left us a couple of topics here. One of which is there's a new update in Wi-Fi security, making it harder to hack. So for those who are into the computer, Wi-Fi stuff and technology and appreciate and understanding it, the WPA2 has been upgraded into WPA3, which is been a long time coming. I think it was 2004 was the last update.
Yeah, 2004.
So yes, the manufacturing giant Cisco have voiced their support, and it's going to make it a lot harder for people to hack your password. So keep making your passwords really, really hard for your Wi-Fi, etc. And WPA3 should make it a lot better.
Yeah, and the new line of WPA3 routers that they've been showing up, that's been showing up recently, has been pretty cool. Like the Asus one, for example, it looks so cool aesthetically.
Yeah, but the software on there is the WPA3. The actual router itself, the hardware hasn't changed. It's just the software. The hardware's always been upgraded and improved to improve the performance. The security is actually code.
Sorry, you were saying, Buck?
Well, I just said the router itself is a physical hardware piece. It's been getting lots of upgrades over the years to improve performance. The WPA3 is a software upgrade, which is coding. So it's nothing to do with the physical.
Yeah. Oh, that's about dang time as well.
Sorry, folks. The DJ as a droid seems to have troubles on differentiating between software and hardware at times.
It's about dang time too to get this up and running.
Yeah, but it's not something that you want people just racing out and going, oh, look, I got a new item, I got a new item every 5 minutes. That's an Apple approach. And there's not really ever much of a difference. It's just a tiny change in name or something like that, and they charge you $1,000 for it. But yeah, we'll try to keep track of that. When the professor's back, we'll get him to give us any updates if there's anything further available. Next story though is it's from the DJ.
Oh, you will love this one.
It's the AI bots defeating the callous-palmed Dota 2 players.
So basically, a research lab company founded by the great gods of Elon Musk and Sam Altman, known as OpenAI, have created a team of AI agents that can beat the top 1% of amateurs at Dota 2. Now imagine that, like if it can beat amateurs at a game like this, imagine how would that be like if it versus against professionals.
Yeah, but it's not really all that hard to beat Dota 2 players. Just have a pretty girl walk across the room. It distracts them. Or walk through the room with pizza or noodles.
We're talking mee goreng noodles, right? Not the fancy Maggi noodles.
Yeah. Just think it in terms of a university student. It's food.
I will say this though. This is this AI's challenge is going to be versus 5 matchups in a big tournament this year, actually, known as international. Although mind you though, this is interesting in a sense where, remember the old days where you see chess players versus against computer programs back in the old days. Like this is a evolved version.
Yeah, but it's still basically the same thing. It's just it calculates the results of every single option and so forth to find what's going to win. And one of the sad things for this is the fact that the Dota 2 players are going to be sitting there swearing and carrying on and throwing insults. And the AI bots on the other side are just not going to notice and not care. So all those little weebs that like to be keyboard tough guys that throw out all sorts of insults and carry on are going to look really, really badly done.
Although I will say this whole project though is has some is going to be used for practical uses outside the whole Dota arena, in a sense where such as managing
without reading a word for word from the article though. Come on.
As basically challenging real world problems like
such as
fixing a city's transport systems, sewer water energy problems.
It's not necessarily going to be able to do that because it will help to manage it, but you will still need people because you're talking about it dealing with a mass number of people, so the variances are still going to be pretty astronomical, and it's not going to be able to calculate for everything.
I know with this level of tech, with this level of advanced technology, I think we might see technology just
still need people involved. QR has the rail control network, and every railway network in the world at a decent level has computer controlled systems, right?
Yeah.
They have their control room and it's all computer controlled. I know guys who wrote the code for it. Simple fact of the matter is they still have to have people sitting there in the control room watching what's happening in case something goes wrong. because the human involvement is still beyond what AI is capable of coping with at the present time. AI technology is still, and I don't know if we can really call it AI, but it should be called something else here, because I don't think this is really fitting into the AI area. It's part of AI research, but it's more of a learning intelligence rather than an artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Because all it's doing is it's operating programmed responses and learning on the other responses, and that's how it's operating. It's a learning intelligence. It's not an artificial intelligence. It's not spontaneously creating ideas.
Could you see it? Could you see it spontaneous? Could you see it evolve in a sense, though?
Maybe one day, and I'd love to see it happen. But yeah, it's one of those tricky areas of scientific research that's, there's going to be arguments about it for a long time.
Yeah.
Because there's massive arguments about the definition of what intelligence is, even in people. So until we can define intelligence people, how are we going to define it for robots or other things?
And once we develop intelligence for robots, are we going to implant every robot Asimov's 3 laws?
Well, it kind of makes sense to have those embedded into the coding, but if you're talking about true intelligence, wouldn't it be able to actually overcome those rather than be constrained? See, there's part of the argument about intelligence.
I guess so. Yes,
because after all, people are classified as having a level of intelligence measurable by an IQ test, but we still break the laws.
Yeah.
And the higher the IQ, the more likely you are to resist being constrained by laws, is one of the theories.
We should explain what the laws are to the audience for those who are familiar with Asimov's 3 laws.
Okay, go ahead.
So the three laws, Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics are: a robot may not injure a human being, or through interaction allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey. The second one is a robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And the third one, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Those are the 3 laws of robotics.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, I hope we don't go to that point where we need to implement 3 laws of robotics. But
well, see, the thing is, do we want droids or do we want artificial intelligence?
So can you say that again, Buck?
I said, do we want droids or do we want artificial intelligence?
Oh.
And for those who are trying to figure out why the DJ keeps asking me to repeat things, it's because he's got a couple of chips. Unfortunately, I haven't slapped him up the side of the head to push him back into place lately.
But I would rather have droids personally.
So C-3PO.
C-3PO, yeah.
Or R2-D2.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yourself?
Yeah, I'd love droids. I'd love to have a little R2-D2 running around helping me out.
Make you create a spacecraft, you know.
Well, don't know whether R2-D2 could create a spacecraft for me, but you never know. But talking about spacecrafts, and yeah, you got to stop trying to take over control when someone else is hosting. And stop with the lame segues.
Fair enough.
Why did the presser have to be away? Yeah, talking about spacecrafts, the Japanese have sent a spacecraft chasing after an asteroid, you were telling us.
Yeah, so on when was this? This was on the 27th of June, the Japanese have launched a spacecraft chasing an asteroid that's orbiting between Earth and Mars, known as the higher.
Did they launch it on the 27th of June?
I was saying, not launch. Its images were snapped up, revealing that.
No.
It says it says is about to rendezvous.
Yeah, is arriving at an asteroid.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little bit hard for it to take off and arrive at the asteroid at the same time, unless we've got a real near miss that would have wiped out a massive section of the Earth.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's the Hayabusa 2 spacecraft, and it was chasing an asteroid, but it's orbiting between Earth and Mars, known as the Ryugu, and I think a couple of hours later, it reached the asteroid and took some samples.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's reached this target and its next phase of its journey, and it can begin its next phase of its journey, finding a suitable location to land and collect its sample. And then the next year and a half, the Hayabusa 2 will study Ryugu in detail, collecting scientific data before finally landing and collecting its sample in 2019. Then it will begin its journey back to Earth in 2020. Man, how long will that take?
Let's hope that they don't turn around and start looking at trying to shoot it the same for scientific purposes the way they do whales.
Oh.
It had to be said.
Yeah, the asteroid's gonna have a whale of a time. Oh.
And you're trying to say that I was bad? Seriously. That thing stinks. That thing stinks worse than the sewage works down the road.
I will.
For those who are curious, the satellite was actually launched back in November 2014. Nice. So yes,
although this whole thing reminds me of the Rosetta mission.
Nah, you always try to link everything to everything else.
Oh, it is true though. It's the same. It's the same idea.
No.
Okay, what was the difference?
Okay, well, what was the Rosetta doing?
The Rosetta was trying to set was the space probe that was trying to land on a comet.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't. Wasn't the whole Rosetta mission basically to land on a comet though?
I don't know. You just said it was.
Yeah, it was. It was launched in 2004 along with the Philae, PHILAE, detailed study during its journey to the comet. And it landed on.
Whether it was actually supposed to land on there.
Oh, it landed on the comet. Yeah, it's landed on.
I don't think it was intended to land on the comet. Have you looked at pictures of it?
No, I'm looking through the wiki article about it actually.
How many times do I have to tell you? Wiki is not academically credible.
Not many times actually.
Well, yeah, I have told it to you a number of times. Get it for some basic ideas for research. Never actually use it in your assignments. First rule of academic writing. They teach them that in grade 11. Yeah, the Rosetta satellite had massive solar panels, so it was supposed to detach and land a special probe device that was supposed to collect some samples and process them and then come back up to reconnect with the satellite. But yeah, what the satellite itself wasn't expected to land on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you look at the size of the solar panels, it's got two massive arms coming out either side with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big pieces that would have folded out in concertina form as they do. The wingspan of that would have been pretty damn big.
I have a picture which will show how big that is. And it's pretty big.
I don't think as I said, the Rosetta was intended to land on the satellite. It had a probe that was supposed to be detached and sent to it, but yeah. But you got to stop saying, oh, that's like this other thing that happened.
Yeah.
Those who listen to our live streams of the E3 game will have heard me swearing at the DJ for that sort of thing. Those who know us in personal lives would probably have heard me doing the same thing as well. But moving right along, while we're still talking about spaceships, things like that, well, we have to give a shout out to the Kiwis that once again failed to launch at RocketLab. And this time because of weather. Like, how can you live in New Zealand and not take into account the weather?
Man.
Seriously. There's supposed to be some technical difficulties as well, they claim. But I think it's just they forgot, it's going to be very overcast today, cuzzy bro.
Is that your New Zealand accent that you're just trying to pull off right there?
No, I'm just making fun of them. That's a dopey kick, New Zealand.
You kind of sounded like Korg from Thor Ragnarok there.
And no, we do not receive sponsorship from Marvel, even though the DJ seems to keep blinking everything. But moving along, the professor sent me a article about a blockchain CPU, which is going to be the size of a grain of salt.
Oh man, that
And
is
that is still,
tiny.
it only costs just 10 cents. While at the present time, while as the 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter CPU is only reported as having the computing power of a 1990s era CPU, it's still a pretty darn impressive piece of technology and major step forward. At present,
So,
oops, sorry.
so is this CPU going to be salt mining as well because it's made of salt? Not made of salt. It's the size of salt, a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's just lame.
Hey, had to be
That-
said. Had to be said. Had to be said. The salt jokes are going to come in this time.
No, it didn't have to be. That joke is so lame that it needs to go on disability benefits. And talking about things the size of a grain of salt, your brain. For thinking about it. In the Latin, uno grano salus.
You got to curse me in Latin.
No, I just said uno
but-
grano salus. 1 grain of salt.
But all jokes aside, though, with this
If I can
clock CPU,
continue
though,
on with what I was saying,
Mm.
the current look at the usage of the CPU is presently for authentication processing, so barcoding, that sort of stuff. But they're hoping to take it further. It's a general purpose machine, so it can do much, much more than just simple computing. The CPU's limited horsepower keeps its manufacturing costs low, just 10 cents. So it's perfect for being embedded in packaging, so security purposes, tracking all sorts of things. So yeah, because it's only it's a new tiny chip. The power consumption is going to be almost non-existent, and the main purpose is RFID and that sort of tracking sort.
Oh, cool. Imagine having this size of a CPU in every computer in the household.
Why?
Ah, I know, because it would just look cool.
Why?
And plus with blockchains, I was going to say with Bitcoin mining and whatnot.
Yeah, but did you listen to what was just said about it?
Yeah, it's used for tracking and RFID stuff. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. It's also only at the power of a 1990s era computer, i.e. 686 sort of thing. So it's not really able to power modern computers.
But still, with the Bitcoin, it's just the Bitcoin thing that's just tempting me with the Bitcoin.
It's nothing about
blockchains.
Bitcoin there. It's blockchain. It's security. Blockchain is not Bitcoin.
No, it's not.
Blockchain is a security algorithm processing approach. It's not Bitcoin.
No, but you can use it to invest in Bitcoin. You can use it for investing in Bitcoin.
Okay, folks, we're just going to pause for a minute while the DJ goes and researches what it is that he's talking about. So, moving right along, there was a nice little post up during the week about Red Dead Redemption 2 temporarily appearing on Rockstar's LinkedIn profile. By the way, that's Red Dead Redemption 2 for PC.
Ooh.
But that has since been removed. So, yeah, there's lots of people out there who were getting really excited. Myself as one of them. I'm not ashamed to admit it. That there's talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to PC.
Finally.
But it has since been removed. So, yeah. It was an anonymous employee's LinkedIn profile momentarily listed PC as one of the platforms, and then there was some investigation into it, but unfortunately it had been removed.
Oh man. Although one thing's for certain, the internet never forgets.
Wow, and neither do nerds. So
this is another lesson of be careful what you post on the internet, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's also more of a please take notice of the fact that everyone was getting excited, and the master race is chomping at the bit to be able to play it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, quite an interesting little turn of events there, and hopefully they will bring it all to us. Sorry, I just saw an article about another game from PC Gamer. Better get back to what I'm supposed to be doing, which is the next story, which is Australian software developers and gaming developers are helping saving kids around the world. So yeah, quite an interesting turn of events. Kids all over the world starting school at a disadvantage because of one problem being misdiagnosed. Yeah, there's an invention from Australia that's helping to cover that. So benefit from this. Get back into my words. Yeah, the children as far afield as China and the United States that are benefiting from this, that is stopping the misdiagnosis of ADHD. So yeah, quite a nice little turn of events and good use of technology. Although, given all the terror and fear mongering from politicians and morons in the media, we have to wonder: are these kids going to grow up to become mass murderers? So,
I feel it feels like this article is just saying, oh yeah, while we screwed up in the whole, yeah, gamers will become mass murderers and stuff. This is an article will try and save face, you know.
Well, there's articles out there that have already disproved the whole situation about games and mass murderers and shooting.
Yeah. And not to mention recently the whole WHO's ruling.
No, that was about games addiction, which is a real problem. Yeah, totally different issue. Yeah, moving on from there and coming back on track. There's lots of kids that develop hearing problems in the first 5 years of their life and so forth that can be managed and possibly corrected, etc. And because of issues like that, they're being misdiagnosed as having ADHD and put onto various drugs into special classes and so forth, when the reality is it's just a hearing problem. So,
but that's cool just to see like a couple of games developers developing something that will stop such a catastrophic misdiagnosis.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say catastrophic. Yeah, like looking at the situation here, they talk about a young girl called Summer, and yeah, it was one of the things with this is as she's playing the game, everything seems okay, but as the background noise gradually increased, Summer could no longer actually hear the game's instructions, and yeah, it was actually a bit of a shock for her mum to see that Summer could no longer actually hear what was being said. So it's a simple test that children are going to actually be involved in actively, rather than the old hearing tests where you got to listen, and I've been through them a few times and for industrial reasons, and they're always as confusing for adults, let alone a 5-year-old. So yeah, it's quite a nice step up and representation by our fantastic game developers. So boys and girls, please keep beating yourselves and coming up with fantastic new games and approaches to using the technology that's existed and driving improvement.
Mm-hmm. And for further good news about this, it can be downloaded as an app as well. We'll send you the link onto the show notes as well for you guys.
Alrighty. That's pretty much all of it, except for famous birthdays this week.
Oh, yes, we love these.
First up, although I have to give the DJ the opportunity here for a quick 5-minute shout out about Fortnite.
Oh yeah?
Don't squander it. I'm giving you the chance.
In a recent so recently we were talking about PUBG suing Fortnite. So recently PUBG has dropped its lawsuit for apparently no reason. So hang on a second. So it's dropped the lawsuit, and I think it was for out of good faith. Hang on a second. Drop the lawsuit. So there hasn't been any comments on why they dropped the lawsuit. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. They sent basically on Monday, however, PUBG Corp sent a letter of withdrawal to Epic's attorneys. At the time of actions, legal experts questioned the merit of the suit. which sought to protect the ideas rather than specific source code or assets, a difficult case to make in creative industries. So I think I think in overall this whole lawsuit was a good thing in the end.
Okay. And for those who are concerned, no, the DJ still hasn't played either game.
Hey, I've been busy playing Quake Champions. Good game. That's a good game.
Before that, there was what excuse? Yeah, dead silence.
God of War. No, before that was God of War.
No. Your excuses are as lame as your comment before about Sightline. But moving right along to famous birthdays, we have Mel Brooks had his birthday just a couple of days ago, and born in 1926. Real name Melvin Kaminsky. Can't understand why he changed that to Brooks. Although, if he was considering he was entering the field of acting and so forth in Hollywood, would have thought Kaminsky would have been better with all the moving on. Next up, we have Kathy Bates, an American Academy Award-winning actress, best known for Misery. That's right. She's the lady who kidnapped Jack Nicholson and tied him to a bed.
Oh,
so, crazy stalker before that was much scarier than the bunny boiler. So come out years later. She was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh no, she had a more scary role than that. If you ever seen American Horror Story, she's in there too. And she was scary.
Yeah, Misery was much scarier than American Horror Story.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's
Working
true.
with you scarier than American Horror Story.
I don't know.
And well, that's the problem. You don't. We do. We live it. Moving right along. Next up was Elon Musk. Had his birthday this week. Born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. Famous for things such as SpaceX, Tesla, PayPal. And another shout out. Sweeney Todd closed at the Eurus Theatre in New York City after 557 performances in 1980.
Wow.
That's a lot of slit throats in that time.
1980 as well, man. That's a marathon.
Yeah, but they had to make room because they needed the extra storage space for shoulder pads.
No, yeah. Well, fashion in the 80s. What can I say?
Probably
what can I say?
Although it wouldn't stop you. Hasn't before. But yep, that seems to be it for another week's episode. A bit of a shorter one this week. Please remember to check out our Twitter account, which has been taken out of Twitter jail. DJ, what's the Twitter address or link, whatever?
So our Twitter account is at capital N amalgamated.com. And you will see me tweet a lot of retweeting stuff and posting a couple of trailers. You will love it.
Especially if you like Marvel.
Oh, yeah, Marvel, yeah.
Also, the email address is
nerds.amalgamated@gmail.com.
Okay, and our Facebook page is Nerds Amalgamated. Please take time to check us out. Check out the That's Not Canon Productions and check out for merchandising. You can get shirts, phone covers, cups, bags, pillows. And please, if you're interested in dating the DJ, let us know. We still have that competition open.
You and that competition.
Well, we kind of live in hope. But yeah, please continue to check out all our podcasts. Leave us a comment. Send us an email. Send us an insult. Don't send us pictures of your grandmother unless she's delivering a cake to me or something like that. Not that I've got anything against grandmother. I just miss my own at the moment. Yeah, please let us know. Give us some feedback of what you think of us. What you would like to hear. What we are doing wrong. What we're doing right. Do you think the DJ needs to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend? The offers are open. Also, check out all the other fantastic podcasts on the That's Not Canon Productions. An interesting one that I saw mention of this week was from True Crime, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Have to try and find the link to it. Give me a second.
My favorites is the Second Take podcast with their movie reviews.
Okay.
They're pretty
I have to
good.
say that, and then they is kind of interesting when they do that, some of their stuff. I'm just trying to find the list here of all the podcasters, because I love to give these guys credit because they put a lot of research into the stories that they're talking about. So, fortunately, I can't see them. That's annoying. But yeah, it's a true crime one, and they actually look at all the different murders in mostly around Brisbane at the moment. I think it is. They're going to be talking about one this week, I saw. But if you go check out That's Not Canon Productions, I'm online there. I'm sure you'll find it. And yeah, give them a listen, give them a like. Anyway, that's it for us this week. Take care and good luck.
See you guys.